Steven C. Productions.
At Peace Park in Austin, we built something called the tree structure. Kind of looks like the Death Star, really. It's this massive ball of metal that we put a net in. You're actually able to go inside of it and lay down on that net. In commercial construction, most of the time you're not able to go back into it. I'm actually glad I was a part of that. That's something I could actually enjoy. I could actually go back there and do that. And that tree structure there, that's something pretty elegant.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to Talking from Experience. If you're a day one, welcome back. And if you didn't know, you're about to learn. My name is Steven and I am your host. Today I'll be talking with my friend Steve Suarez. He is the assistant superintendent of some kind of construction thing or something. And this is a pretty relaxed episode, man. It's just two friends catching up. Had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning, but ultimately I was able to figure something out and we were able to put something together. So here you go.
A guy went to go pour a slab of concrete out in the middle of nowhere, actually. And then the concrete ended up cracking all over the place. And it's really hard to get concrete in rural places. Like getting a mixer to go into like some backwoods area basically and drive up mountains and shit just to pour concrete. And then this guy was basically the lowest bidder type of thing, right? He poured his concrete and a few days later it just started cracking. It was a poorly mixed concrete. And it ended up being so bad. We ended up building a shed over it, whatnot, but we had to do a lot of repair work for his concrete too. It's like, wow. Like things like that, like lowest bidders are just crazy, man.
Yeah, and then now with the sand shortage.
I don't know about sand shortage, but there's definitely like something going on with concrete now. Whenever we schedule out concrete, we do it for like 4 weeks out for a concrete, and we pour maybe a good 100 yards a week at the minimum. Sometimes we pour 100 yards a day. We pour shear walls and things like that. But it's been so competitive, so it's been a big hassle with concrete. So I feel bad for like the little guy that just orders 20 yards of concrete and he's held on hold for how many days? Who knows? He's left on call. They'll call him whenever they have the concrete available for him because the work I'm doing, let's say that I decided to book 100 yards every day for a month. And then there's a concrete, what do you call it? I know the word, I just can't remember what the hell that word is. Well, anywho, yeah, they're left to ration their concrete out. Every day they could only give an X amount because they're allocated a certain quantity every month by their distributors of sorts for concrete, for cement. I mean, get cement rations. So that's pretty crazy.
Dude, yeah, that all sounds complex. I had a buddy of mine actually. He's working on a stretch of highway connecting Louisiana and Texas, like on the border. I think I-10.
That sounds really hectic. 2 different states trying to deal with their whole different requirements.
Yeah, I think one side uses asphalt, the other one uses concrete.
Oh wow, those are the worst joints too, man. Like you'll basically see the difference within like 3-4 years after you have all your semi trucks, just your 18-wheelers drive over them, and I don't know, nothing beats concrete in terms of strength whenever you're dealing with roads, but I don't know, asphalt's a pretty cheap alternative.
Dang, so asphalt just gives way right real quick.
I mean, it's nice, it's easy to patch. Concrete, it's annoying to patch. It takes so much work. You have to basically saw it out, chip it out, and then remove it. With asphalt, you could just do something called a hot patch or something. You could remove that asphalt too. It's not as difficult to remove. But you still be able to saw it and everything, but a hot patch, you could just patch over a certain area. It's easier to maintain, but it has a shorter lifespan. Or not even that really. It's just
you got to use it
in the right locations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like in the parking lot at Walmart, yeah, use asphalt. But like, let's say in the section of your loading dock area, use concrete. You're gonna have large trucks driving there.
That makes sense, man. So we're up and running, dude. I got this thing.
You got it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's working. All right. Cheers, man.
All right. Cheers.
So, what was it you were building again in Austin?
In Austin, I'm assisting building a 48-story building in downtown Austin. It's a 3-year long project. The structural aspect should be roughly 2.5 years. There's a lot of concrete, a lot of steel, a lot of elevators. There's a whole bunch of stuff. That goes into those high-rise buildings you see in downtowns.
Freaking high rises, man.
They're really expensive, man. They're really expensive things to have, especially downtown. Right, downtown Austin in particular, just booming so much. I think they're building one of their the tallest buildings in Texas right now. They're starting to build it, so I think it's over 1,000 feet. It'll be pretty massive. It'll be supposed to be taller than the Chase Tower, I think, right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it'd be pretty big.
They got all them California people coming in, right?
Oh yeah, you have Tesla.
Wow.
I think they're done. I'm not sure if they're done yet, but I know they were building a mega factory. I forgot what they called it. A gigafactory or something. I forgot. They have a name for it.
They're gonna be manufacturing cars there.
I don't really know. All I know is they took up a lot of the concrete supply basically. So
they beat you to it.
They beat someone to it. We haven't had that issue yet since we've been booking for so long. So
okay, that's interesting, man. I never thought about construction companies fighting over the concrete.
Yeah, it's such a little like, I don't want to say it's petty, but it's first come first serve type of thing. So you want to ask for as much as you can.
Wow.
And then when the day comes, you'll limit the actual concrete you have. So that'll just annoy whoever didn't get any concrete.
Because you end up not using all of it?
Yeah, I may end up not ordering all of it.
Mm.
I mean, that I don't know. I guess it's a whole COVID thing that happened, and companies not being open. I don't know if it's a COVID thing or if it's just not. I don't know. Not enough concrete cement being mined out, or however they extract it.
I think it was a COVID thing. Now it's just an excuse.
Yeah, it's kind of like wood. The price of wood just skyrocketed right now. I think 2x4 more than doubled. It's just something crazy. The cost of wood. We started changing the type of stakes we use to make formwork for concrete. We started using these metal stakes, 2-foot long things to hold our formwork in place.
What were you using before?
The 2x4s. We just rip a 2x4
Wow.
and be a little sacrificial piece, or you use it around. But those metal stakes just last a lot longer. In a way, it made us save material. Actually, it's like you invested in something that'll last you a lot more now.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just tossing that piece of 2x4 after you're done, well, no, now I'm gonna take it to my next job.
Mm-hmm.
That piece of metal will travel with you a lot longer than that piece of wood.
Dang, that's cool. You end up saving money in the long run.
I mean, in a way, it is expensive, but it is, it's actually one of the good things, actually, in my opinion.
You're not wrong, man. I was looking at putting up a fence around my grandma's house. I think it was gonna be like about $3,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's ridiculous. The property is not that big. It's not small, but I mean, it's not like it's huge.
Yeah, it's like a sheet of plywood costs I think a 4x8 sheet is it's $60 or $70 or something like that. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow. It also depends on what type of wood you're getting too, but it's just so expensive now. It's crazy. Just trying to build a house right now. Everything's just so expensive now. Your housing market, your dollar doesn't get you what you want either.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what also makes construction really expensive now too. Is whenever you want to buy something, if you mess up, you have to buy it again. It's wow, man, you learn the true value of something then.
I think master builder is gonna have to start charging more.
Oh yeah, man. Anybody building a house, I'm sure anybody buying a house right now knows the cost of everything's just so astronomical right now. Wow. I want to buy a house too right now. A lot of my colleagues are buying houses, and I'm well, that's my next step. I finished school. I don't have any student loans. Well, I guess the next thing to do is buy a property, live in a house, and move out of the apartments. It's just, wow, they're so expensive. Even building your own house is expensive. All the materials you take to build it is just, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to buy build a house from scratch, but
What's that video with that Tesla Tesla mobile home or something.
Oh yeah,
That might be the best bet.
What are those? What are they calling them? Like mini homes or something like that?
I have no idea, man. That'd probably be a cool thing to invest in. Just screw it, man. I'm gonna attach that to my truck and just live off of that.
No, it's like I think I forgot what store was selling them, like Home Depot or Lowe's or something.
Oh, you could buy a cheap shed from Home
Yeah,
Depot
yeah.
too.
So they have these 2-story sheds that people are turning into like little condo houses. Like they put their stuff, like I think they buy it and then they get the material to reinforce it.
God.
And then they convert those into like mini homes.
You know, those shipping containers, I think they're called Connexes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, those are awesome. I want to buy 2 of those things, have one buried underground, have that as like a basement, and then slap another one up top and have that as a home. And the structure itself is probably like a good 60%. No, not 60. I think like 30 or 40% of your cost right there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, sticking one of them underground.
Yeah, it's like, I think they're like $5,000 or something, so that'd be pretty convenient.
Oh my gosh, that's not bad.
Especially the whole COVID thing where like materials were stopped. Weren't being delivered or shipped, so what was it? Shipping places just ended up having stockpiles of them there. They ended up paying for space to store them in. And
yeah.
God, man, that's a good place to. That would have been a good time to buy those.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at land whenever I lived in Arizona, like a few months back when I lived in Phoenix. I was looking at land up north near Flagstaff. Flagstaff's such a nice place. I wanted to live maybe like 2 hours from there. Sounded like a pretty sweet gig there. But like, yeah, dude, like if you live out there, like where are all the jobs, man? Where are you gonna work at? You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Well, my goal is to be a digital nomad.
Digital nomad.
Yeah, so I'll work from my computer from wherever I want.
Oh yeah, and if you want to do a podcast, you could just straight up live stream it. Like, not live stream. What is it? Call them.
Yeah, call in, man.
Call
Shoot.
in.
But no, actually, I would want probably be around here. I like Houston, man. It's a really good city. It's popping. There's stuff around here going on.
Oh yeah, every city is awesome. Like Phoenix is cool. Austin is awesome. Houston's great. I think I want to move to Denver. That's my next place, man. People tell me that like if you're from the coast, you'll miss the coast, but I was in the desert for a little while there, and I really liked it too, man. So I didn't see a difference.
Man, honestly, I wouldn't care where I'm at, dude, as long as I'm away from trains. I don't want to hear any trains. Like, that's one of my biggest things. Like, growing up here, like, freaking Port City, dude, no matter where you're at, you hear trains. I'm like, I know I've made it in life. Like, I've accomplished everything I want to do when I can go to sleep and not wake up to a freaking train.
My biggest like pet peeve, not mine really. My mom, when she'd take me to school when I was in elementary, we'd have to cross over train tracks, right? And sometimes those things would take forever, man. We'd be waiting in line on the street, waiting to drive through, and the train would cross through. So I was already like 5 minutes late. Now I'm gonna be a half hour late.
Yeah, no.
God.
Then they freaking stop.
And they stop, yeah.
And you're just there like, okay, now I gotta figure out a way to get around it.
You can't because they're like jammed or like you do yeah.
They're so long, man.
It's crazy. Damn, man. Have you ever been on a train before? Besides the whole Metro Rail thing here.
Like traveled on a train?
Yeah, travel train.
No, I've been like I've ridden a train. Like, you grab onto the side. But never like for actual travel.
Never actual travel.
Have you?
No, but I've been looking at that. That sounds pretty cool to travel the country on a train here.
Well, they're supposed to be building like an Amtrak or something like that.
No, they have Amtraks here already. It's just they're not as glamorous as the European ones or whatever, or the Japanese ones or whatever. Their train system's just a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be pretty cool to travel around the U.S. on train.
Bullet train.
Oh yeah, bullet train, right?
That'd be fun.
Pretty cool concept.
Go like 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, you'd make a lot of work there building that thing.
True.
I mean, no, you could just use existing, but the thing with train tracks for the U.S. is they're all private. I think 99% of them are like privately owned or something. So you can't really have a concept of a bullet train unless you make your own new tracks or something. Or else you'll be waiting in line until like another train passes by, or because they're all privately owned, so you'll never really have a priority.
How big a role do trains play in your line of work?
I'm pretty sure they affect me somewhere along the lines, because since we were ordering a lot of material.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the most part, we get everything delivered through trailer. Actually, today we were getting a crane pieces delivered, and 18 wheelers were just dropping them off. But I'm sure trains play something along the lines. We're ordering nails, plywood, 2x4s. Hell, I'm sure even the concrete, the cement, the fly ash, all that gets delivered, I'm sure, to the plant by train. I mean, that'd be the most efficient way to transport it.
Those big old containers, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, hell, we ordered a bundle of 2x4s. I think it's like 250 2x4s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you can't just ship one. You might as well just put them on a train somewhere, because we get them from distributors here. We buy it from them, but I'm sure they stockpile that stuff there. Kind of like Amazon. I'm sure they have a spot here where they just get a train delivery of stuff. I'm sure they don't use that same Amazon truck to get everything delivered to them.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Trains are like one of the first, like for long distance transportation. Well, probably one of the most one of the first and most effective ways to.
Yeah, inland, yeah, yes, 100%.
Who thought of that, man? It's like, let's make these tracks.
Pretty good way of making money there.
Man, the engineers, right, who had to come up with, all right, how are we gonna build these tracks and stuff like that.
Because that's a whole trial and error type of thing. I'm sure there's multiple different designs that came before then, just people messing up, and then someone came along with the right idea and we just kept it.
Yeah. And they had people pulling the train. I don't know how historically accurate this is, but there's a movie called Spirit. It's a cartoon movie about a horse. At one point they have a Native American that they got captive, and they got him as part of the people pulling the train. Like they're I guess it's not efficient to burn the oil to move the train like 100 feet as they're building the track.
Oh yeah, it's like whenever you drive, like the first step you take to move your truck, it's probably the most energy consuming step right there, because you could ride with momentum afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I remember seeing that. Like, that's pretty crazy. I bet there's got to be some kind of merit to that. I've never read about that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure the writers or whatever of that movie did their research. But it makes sense, you know. Why would you start up the train to move it 100 feet? That's wild. Like,
what is that? The military had one plane that it couldn't start. It could start. Whenever it reached a certain, I think like Mach 3 or something like that, it needed to be at least needed to be dropped off at Mach 2 for it to start or something. Can't remember what the hell it was called.
Well, wasn't there like a anti-tank gun that was essentially just like a gun that could fly? Okay, it was so powerful that like when they would deploy the bullet, it would stall the engine. So they designed it so that it would start up as soon as you deployed the bullet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was like they didn't even call it a plane. Like whoever wrote it, whoever was driving it, they didn't even call him a pilot. They just called him a stick operator.
A stick operator.
Yeah, like, because it wasn't a plane, dude. It was a gun. Anti-tank. I think, what was it? The tip of the bullet was made of uranium. So it's like, the guy I watched explaining it, he's like, just in case you wanted to destroy a tank that was hiding behind another tank. Yeah, it was made by General Electric.
General Electric.
The people that make your refrigerator, because America.
That's really funny. And hell, that's how you make money, right? Diversifying.
That's it, man. You can't just make fridges and
don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of the whole, like, I was working with a guy that he was an elderly guy that worked in construction, and he was saying how they should cancel NASA so they don't have to limit Social Security or something. Instead of funding NASA, they should fund that. But I feel like you should never cancel NASA, man. Like, we learned so much from that. You get me? It's like, you learn by experimenting, and then that thing you discover there might not have any application in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Will have an application somewhere else, like in the medical field or something. Hell, even in construction or something. Just different ways of doing things.
What is it? The golden ratio. You heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, that's reaffirmed by looking at space. That's just applied everywhere in life. You know?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
What was your first big screw up at work?
For this job here, actually, now. For this job I'm working in, actually. I don't know if it was my screw up, but I ordered it, so I guess it is my screw up. I inherited it. So I was asked to order a material, right? And, you know, it's weird because you should never really... blame is a weird thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody has their hand in the cookie jar. Everybody's getting paid. And when somebody asks you to do something, you have the capability of doing your own due diligence and looking at it to see if something's needed or not. But I decided not to do that. I decided to do as I was told and not to think about it. You get me?
Right.
So I ordered this thing called a sonotube, which is a piece of cardboard. It's a big roll that you use to pour concrete in or something. Sometimes it's used just to retain dirt or something, or if you want to fill something up. But yeah, I ordered a 5-foot diameter, 12-foot long piece of cardboard. I ordered 6 of them. I think that was like $12,000. And the thing is, we were not able to use them.
Wow.
So they were trash. Every day at work for like 2-3 weeks, I'd look at these things.
Oh my gosh.
They're just sitting right out there, and I'm like, wow, I ordered that. And like, yeah, the other guy told me to do it, but the thing is, I ordered them.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do my own due diligence to actually, hey, why am I ordering this? You know, think about it. It's like sometimes you get just in a groove and you're just doing as you're told and not really think about why you're doing things. I feel like whenever you start actually knowing what you're doing, and I guess that's what makes a professional, really. So that's how much of an amateur I am, where I'm not really trying to understand every step of the way. I'm just trying to get as much done as I can. So yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, that was my first mess up was ordering those sonotubes. $12,000 looking at them every day.
Wow.
Like they'd always ask me, hey, what are we going to use those for? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't use them at all now.
I don't know. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, no, we ended up throwing them away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Ain't no resale value.
No resale value.
Oh
custom made items.
Wow.
Yeah. God, in Phoenix, we're making an office space. We're remodeling an office space. And I ended up messing up on making some aluminum frames, right? These things were like, you make them custom to size. You have to make the opening fit. The opening has to be properly made, leveled, and all of that. Think of a square. It has to be nice and perfect, right? Now, you have a lot of existing conditions whenever we remodel a building. So you have to get pretty accurate, since metal isn't something, especially aluminum, it's not something you just beat in, and it has to retain its shape. It's a finished product. It's supposed to be elegant. It's supposed to be smooth, and you're going to stick glass in it, so it has to be pretty damn straight. So yeah, I ended up messing up that too. Right? That was my first time messing with aluminum frames. I think it was like a good 10-20 grand mess up too.
Wow.
It's like, wow, man, that happened, right? It's like, wow, I learned not to do that again. I learned to triple check everything I do. And hell, even the first time, I thought I did the thing right. I checked all my openings. There was like, I think 60 openings around the whole building. And we ended up having to trim a drywall all around a lot of the openings. The aluminum frames were made right. We had to adjust all the drywall around and whatnot. Yeah, I guess that was another learning experience.
Yeah, I always try to think whenever I feel like everything's going right, like I feel like that's when you have to stop and like make sure. Because especially it's easy to make mistakes once the ball's rolling and like everything's been going good so far. Like, so why would I need to double check anything?
And the thing is, you don't know you're wrong up until the last moment.
What?
Hold on, let's make it. Can we pause it?
Yeah.
Yeah, work never really ends, man. It'll like follow you, especially like, oh man.
That's why you're salaried.
Yeah, I'm salary. Yeah, I'm a slave to my job, man.
Yeah, I thought about doing getting something salaried. But then at the same time, I don't know, because I have like days off, and I'm like in group chats and stuff where I work at right now, and uh, stuff comes up, and I'm like, I'm off the clock, man. I'm at my house.
Oh man, I'm never off the clock.
I'm happy about that. What's the most elaborate thing you've helped build?
At Peace Park in Austin, we built something called this tree structure. Kind of looks like the Death Star, really. It's this massive ball of metal that we put a net in. You're actually able to actually go inside of it and lay down on that net. It's a pretty good size ball of metal. It's I want to say it's maybe 30 feet in radius all around, basically. And it has a walkway in the middle.
Oh wow!
You could actually walk inside the metal ball. It has a bridge and everything. It'll let you walk into it. And that's pretty cool. That's in commercial construction. Most of the time, you're not able to go back into it. But at that, I helped remodel a park, and that's pretty cool. I'm actually glad I was a part of that. That's something I could actually enjoy. I could actually go back there and do that. And that tree structure there, that's something pretty elegant.
Is it like suspended?
No, it's stationary object. It's on the ground. It's a big ball of metal.
Okay.
It has its own trusses and all that stuff. Its own metal structure holding it in place.
Dang, that's cool. That sounds fun. Remember in Austin, I gotta go check it out.
That's the first thing I built in Austin. I helped build.
Is that like since you moved there recently, or was that from before?
No, it's one of the oldest parks in Austin, and we just remodeled a certain phase, like I think around 9 acres of land or something.
Oh wow! Oh, that's a pretty big park.
It's a good sized park. It's a nice area. It has a splash pad, kids playing it, and all that stuff. Actually, speaking of mess ups, right there, some of those walls we had to demolish because there was a cold joint. And we used architectural colored concrete to make those. You can see a cold joint running right in the middle. In concrete, whenever you have two different batches of concrete, not two different batches, if your concrete does not cure at the same time or at an even time frame, like let's say there's like an hour or two gap in concrete trucks, then you end up something that's called a cold joint, which it could affect structural integrity. Is basically when concrete cures at two different times, basically. So you end up with a distinct color along those two different pores. And this was a wall. It was an exposed architectural wall that was not going to get painted. You could see that line. And it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. So we had to demolish that wall. And,
wow.
Yeah. It's some nice work. We had to destroy all the work that it took to install the rebar, to clean out the area, to pour the area. You have to have a pump truck there because you can't really just have a concrete mixer to pour a wall. You get me?
Yeah,
it's pretty high up. So you have to use a concrete pump to pour that concrete. You have to demo that wall, basically redo it again, and it'll cost you 3 times as much to do it.
Dang.
If you get it wrong.
Whose fault was that?
That was a concrete plant. They didn't send us the concrete at a reasonable time.
Dang, concrete walls, man. How does that go up? You just like...
So you have these truck pumps that like have these long booms, like a long arm that reaches in. It's like a straw, basically. And then you just pour concrete in a chute at the bottom. And this pump will extend out maybe 30, 40 feet out. And it'll pump concrete into the truck, and it has a system to push the concrete through. It's being fed through a straw there. You get me? That straw is just moved around. Sometimes like the trucks and the operator of the truck has this remote control that can control the pump, and you can move the straw of sorts around, so you can fill in walls or areas you can't typically reach, especially elevated areas.
But is there like a mold there, or?
Oh yeah, you have formwork, like 2 pieces of formwork holding that thing, giving it its shape.
Okay.
And the concrete in there just fills that void in there. And that's your wall. You'll remove that formwork, or you'll strip that off, and you'll have your concrete wall once it cures.
And the formwork is usually like what, wood?
It's with wood, yeah. Sometimes you'll use metal. It depends. Well, what type of finish you want to give your concrete.
Dang, it's crazy. That sucks, man. You were talking about earlier about people stealing. What's the most expensive thing that got stolen off a site?
Something stolen off the site. I mean, all the time you have people like stealing copper wire. I mean, that's pretty expensive.
Just to sell it?
Just to scrap it, yeah,
Wow,
pretty much. That's
dude.
what they steal tools. Yeah, pretty much, man. Copper wire, it gets pretty expensive. I think in one job they stole like $60,000 worth of copper. It's like you'll buy your material. You get me? It's cheaper to buy it in bulk. So you have it there so your electricians or your plumbers could run it. The electricians pull copper wire, and then your plumbers for your water lines will use copper for the most part. And for your drinking fountains and things like that. And yeah, it's yeah, it was in a job where they ended up cutting into like their storage racks and just straight up stealing it.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, not too long ago, I think somebody stole a bulldozer off a site. It was on Hood News.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Stealing a piece of equipment.
A bulldozer, man.
I think those things have like tracking devices or something though. So who knows? It might have been an inside job if they got away with it.
Yeah, maybe. Most likely, right? Dang, I didn't think about that. Because honestly, I think they did get away with it.
Well, yeah, who knows, man?
I never heard
things
it.
have like equipment wise. I think they have tracking devices. I mean, why else would you rent something out like that? You get me?
Yeah.
Or the owner is gonna have to pay for it or something, or they have insurance.
Yeah, they leave them on site. You know. You would think, at least you would hope that they got tracking devices.
You also get randomly calls when people climb your crane. People climb cranes a lot too.
And what's that for? Just to
take pictures, just see up there. You can climb a crane, like, because those things are really tall. Yeah, they can be pretty tall. It's like, I think in Austin we had a guy climb a crane like 3 times. That same guy, he went to jail for 1 day or something. Wow. He got released the next day, and like 2 weeks later he'd do it again.
Is he just trespassing?
Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty dangerous, but yeah, it's trespassing.
So they like climb up the crane. Like, aren't you supposed to be in the basket as it goes up?
The thing about a crane is you could easily climb inside of it. It has a ladder. You could climb all the way up.
Okay.
There's like little to nothing stopping you from doing that. So we like enclosing them with like a little plywood box.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's meant to deter, not to prevent, really.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do something, you'll do it anyways.
Yeah, that's how I feel about locking doors sometimes.
It's like, yeah, like people still break in your house even though you have a locked door. Like, you're deterring the person. You're not stopping the person.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. Like our cars, you know, like it's just glass, the window. It's like we lock them, but you could very easily just break the glass.
Damn, well, I had my truck stolen here in Houston one time when I was at work.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I was like downtown Houston. And I was getting off work like at 4 p.m. and I was walking towards the lot I had my truck parked in. And it was gone.
Oh my
Never
gosh.
found, man.
Never found?
Never found.
Dude.
That's crazy.
When you tell your insurance.
Like, dude, someone stole my truck. I filed a police report and everything.
Yeah, good insurance?
Yeah, I had decent insurance, but like, yeah, I had full coverage on it. It wasn't anything fancy. Actually, I think I got really lucky. That was a learning experience too. Make sure I have full coverage next time.
Oh man, was there
every time?
Was there a video of the people taking them? That would have been epic.
No, I never asked. I feel like that's something my insurance company should have done. I mean, I had full coverage on it. Like, yeah, pay me for it, man. It wasn't anything fancy. It was a beater truck. I think I was paying more for insurance than the truck was worth.
Was it the one with
the blue truck
with the firefighter mural in the back? Yeah, I love that truck. That truck was a classic.
Single cab truck. Yeah, that was crazy. They stole that thing.
Used to pile like 10 people in the single cab. 10 more people in the back.
Damn, that's crazy.
Hey man, thanks for doing this with me, dude. We can do it again next time.
Yes, sir.
Another time. You said next year?
Yeah, next year. Do one more.
We do it once a year.
Yeah.
Steve didn't really have anything to plug. He's not flashy like that. I think the important takeaway from this episode is hide your trucks, hide your cranes, and hide your dozers. Because they stealing everything out here. Links to connect with me are in the show notes, Instagram, LinkedIn, heck, even my website. Like always, let me know what you think of the show, what you like, what you don't like. I'd like for this show to serve some kind of purpose, whether it's educational or entertainment. The last thing I want to do is waste your time. So if there's anything I can do to make the show more enjoyable for you, let me know. Thank you for listening all the way to the end, and we'll talk next time. Peace.